Here is a little short tutorial on how to create that beautiful shape on your short graduated bobs. Sometimes this can be challenging because it usually sits right at or on the occipital bone. This is all determined prior to starting your haircut by getting to know your client's head shape. In this particular instance, my client has a nice occipital bone, and what I mean by that is she has a nice shape to her head. So she has a nice curve to her occipital bone. So I decided to start this haircut where I'm building up the weight right under her occipital bone. You can kind of see right from the side when I'm combing it how the hair kind of falls into the head. You can see she's got a nice shape. So to start it off, one of the key points to keep you on point with creating a nice graduation in your short bobs is to map it out. So as you can see, I'm just creating a forward diagonal parting right below her occipital bone. I kind of use my comb to measure how fast or slow my diagonal is by how short I want it in the back and how long your client desires it in the front. In this instant, my client likes it a lot longer in the front, so I go a lot shorter in the back and I go longer in the front, so it's a very fast forward diagonal. Now to create that beautiful silhouette shape in the back and start building up your graduation, I'm just pulling everything up and over-directing everything up to the point where I want to build up the weight. As you can see here, I'm just using the fine tooth of my comb and scooping everything up, and I'm mirroring the diagonal parting I created with my fingers, and then I'm mirroring that with my comb, and then mirroring that with my scissors. This just helps keep you on point with your body, hand, and scissor position so that you keep in that geometric shape that you're creating. Now, once I've established the graduation, I'm just kind of going in and cleaning up that nape area. In order to make this look attractive, you've got to shorten that nape area. If it's too long in the back and then long in the front, it just doesn't look balanced. In this particular instance, my client has a lot of weird growth patterns in her nape area. So I'm using my feather razor and just feathering that hair off, just lightly carving it off into the nape. My client has really fine, thinner hair, so this particular style creates a lot of thickness. You'll see in the end, well, you saw in the very front picture how full her hair looks, but by using the razor, it still gives it more of a blunt edge, which is going to give you a thicker vibe to the hair. But it's also, I'm using the razor to make it look a little bit softer. My work, everybody has kind of their own little vibe to it, and mine tends to have a lot of softer vibe and more feminine vibe to it. And that's why I like the razor. Now here I'm building up the weight, the graduation. So I'm just going into the panels, the sectioning that was above my nape area, and I'm just taking 4 diagonal sections, mirroring the first section I created, and taking it section by section down to the first section I created, holding it out at a 45-degree angle, and then using my razor and just cutting it off at that 45-degree angle. You can see here on this side how I'm pulling it out from the head, holding it with my fingers. My fingers are mirroring the diagonal I created, so is my comb, and now is my razor. Now, when you're using a razor, I'm just kind of holding it at a slight angle. I'm not holding it square on it and chopping it off. I'm just kind of feathering it off. This gives a lot softer vibe. This helps alleviate getting a real choppy, heavy line there. So also another key point to think about when you're creating your buildup of weight here and you're creating your beautiful graduation is each section just kind of bring up just slightly higher than the last. That way you don't get a blunt line and it gives a softer vibe. Plus using your razor just gives it a nice soft flow. And as you can see, as I'm working here, I'm just checking it, visually checking it to make sure it's looking good. Now, once I've achieved the weight line that I want and the shape that I'm wanting, then it's time to go back in and fine tune. I was looking at this and felt like it was just a little bit too heavy looking in the nape, so I'm using my shark fin shears. It's called the eraser. These shears have a lot of teeth in them, so it's really fine, so you can't see any lines, but it's really nice for fine tuning, removing a little bit of weight, and just kind of erasing any lines that might be showing. Hence the name eraser. Here I'm just going back in and blending that front in with the sides, making sure that it looks that weight line is moving beautifully and marrying into the sides. Now I'm using a technique that helps keep you from getting a little bit of a hole there by the ear. So as you can see, I kind of separate it at the ear and pull it. Anything that separates at the back, I pull it over and cut it at the angle that I'm wanting. Right behind the ear, there near the mastoid process, which is the space behind the ear. And then combing it over the ear and just using my scissors and kind of tapping it in so that that hair that has to travel over the ear, you're giving it that little extra length it needs to travel over the ear so you don't get a little hole. Here you can see a little bit better how I divided it off. Here again, I'm thinking about the length that I'm wanting, that my destination is, at where I'm headed to. I'm going from shorter to longer. And so I'm making sure that my fingers are mirroring the diagonal of my section, and I'm thinking about where I'm headed the whole time so that I don't cut that corner off. I hope these tips help. Be sure to hit the like button and follow, and hit me a comment below if this video helped. Thanks for watching, and happy hair cutting.